Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shupe. You are watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all had a fantastic day. Of course, right now, we are joined by Eliott Wellenbach of Direxion. Now, we have Eliott on every month, and we love going through some of the leverage ETFs that Direxion have to offer. Of course, one of the most recent ones that we did on the show here was for Palantir earnings. That was PLTU. So we're definitely looking forward to talking with Eliott. Eliott, how are you doing?
Hey, thank you for having me today. Always great being on and excited to be here.
Fantastic to talk to you again. Fantastic to hear from you. So, quite an interesting start to this year, Eliott. Of course, I think we spoke a little bit last year. Usually you're on with Tommy. But some stuff I kind of want to initially go over. You know, we kind of go over gold on this show. Obviously, Tom was big on gold. We have some other guys come on that look at gold pretty heavily, namely the GDX. You take a look at the gold contract. Of course, you have this massive, what seems like an arbitrage opportunity. You have gold, at least the contract, moving up. We're trading 2,948. So quite a nice move to the upside. One of the groupings that we've looked at in the past are the gold ETFs. Okay, so that's going to be Dust and Nugget. I'm kind of curious what you're looking at. Of course, we've had some miners report recently. We have some more coming up. Kind of what you guys are looking at regarding just kind of gold in general and your ETFs with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know you guys love gold, and also it's very timely to speak about. And, you know, we're seeing for gold continue run up that we saw last year. I think gold was on a 7-week winning run as of end of last week, and we've seen a variety of analyst upgrades and end of year price targets. Somewhere the average is around $3,100, and we're really seeing that from a variety of different impacts, but mostly. Just uncertainty around economic policy, tariffs, inflation fears driving gold higher. So we've seen not only gold, have some strong performance this year so far, but also the gold miners, as you mentioned. Nugget and Dust are our 2x and inverse 2x gold miners, and then we have our junior gold miners, JNUG and JDST, are 2x leverage and inverse. And just a little tidbit of flows that we like to look at. Traditionally, where we see strong performance in our ETFs over usually a shorter period of time or intermediate period, we'll see actually outflows. That's traders taking profit and locking that in. So we saw for both our bull funds, NUGT and JNUG, those were in our top largest outflows for last week, as you saw profit taking, starting to take place last week on some of the products.
Absolutely. So yeah, very interesting. Again, the junior ones are fantastic, and I always, every so often, again, love playing Dust and Nugget. I think. And I was speaking a little bit about Palantir, it's so good, at least for like your general positions to hold, right? And going into earnings, it's a good way to leverage, a good way to get some exposure as well. These are fantastic, and kind of on the similar kind of train of like consistently going up, right? I mean, we've seen some really strong performance of with gold. We've been playing a lot of tech, and you've seen for quite a while tech and really the semiconductors moving up. And then, of course, you have DeepSeek come out, okay? Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Chinese ETFs, but of course, you have NVIDIA coming out with earnings. This is going to be 226. I'm curious what you guys are kind of seeing with that, because this has been a really wild ride. NVIDIA is, of course, right at the heart of really this massive AI and technological boom we're seeing. You have NVDU, of course, and then NVDD. Kind of curious what you're seeing with that. I mean, wow. Looking at this chart right now, you have the high of 153.13. This is in NVIDIA. With the DeepSeek news coming out, I think you made a low that day of 116, and then totally in the near term, 112.81, and we've come all the way back up, trading up 0.41% today at 139.93. Everyone is watching for earnings on 226 like a hawk, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is the whale that everybody's waiting for, and kind of there's a lot of anticipation around that to see if they're going to continue to blow out earnings as they have for the past. It feels like almost about 2 years now.
I know.
And It's crazy, and you think they can't keep going up, and somehow they do, especially off that DeepSeek news.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, we saw the NVIDIA reach a high in early February, and then January, and then drop off of that news. But it's the NVIDIA stock has pretty much almost recovered from that pullback. And we have a lot of anticipation around our single stocks. Like you mentioned, NVDU, 2X Bull, NVDD is a single inverse. We actually have a pretty diverse lineup of single stock ETFs, not only in the mega cap tech space, but actually pretty diverse across the entire semiconductor space. We actually just launched AMD ETFs, AMUU and AMDD last week, 2X Bull, single inverse bear.
Yes, and along with MU, Micron. This one has been super interesting to me as well, right? You're looking in the whole realm. What we talk about a lot on this show, right? When I'm hosting it, is how do we set up for the next phase in this AI build out? Of course, you're seeing massive capex from some of the big hyperscalers, and we're looking at memory now to run these kind of data centers. And it seems like Micron with their DRAM is really poised very well. Of course, AMD. I think is starting to get some more attention from the industry, where NVIDIA's really stolen a lot of that shine, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, obviously with these leverage ETFs with AMD, you have AMW, AMWB, and then Micron. Okay, you have MUU and MUD. And I'm curious if you're seeing some more traction with that as well. This is actually, Micron is one that I've just added to my personal portfolio because I'm very excited to see the run up on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, in the past 3 days, the stock itself, not even talking about our leverage ETFs, is up double digits. So we've seen quite a bit of trading activity pick up, especially on the bull side, MUU, 2X Bull. The announcement of that SSD, just being able to load large language models in seconds and reduce the AI model load time. I think it sounds pretty groundbreaking just for the advancement in processing those large language models. So we've seen definitely an uptick in trading in both pairs. For Micron, it's been quite an active week in the single stock suite.
And again, these additions of the single stocks have been just phenomenal as well. And kind of on that DeepSeek, with that big drop off we had in January with kind of the revelation of what DeepSeek was doing and how much more efficient it was, you saw a massive amount of money move over into China. Of course, we were looking at Baba over here, and you have some pretty solid, some very solid Chinese leverage ETFs. The one I'm really looking at is Yin and Yang right now. Obviously, you have massive holding in Tencent for Yin and Yang, Alibaba, Xiaomi. Are you seeing more attraction in China right now?
Yes, we really saw that. I mean, there was a lull in China for quite a bit, coming out of COVID, and it really picked up in the fall of last year. And then all of a sudden, this DeepSeek news comes out, and we've seen a explosion of growth and just kind of a buoy for Chinese equities and tech, which is really driving traders going into that space short term.
And this is a new thing for a lot of American investors, and so being able to get exposure via this vehicle is phenomenal. Eliott, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next month.
Hey, thank you for having me. Looking forward to it.
We're back, folks.